Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Emily, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make this really easy modern wall decoration idea. In the comments down below, let me know what you think about this DIY, and if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to see more DIYs. Let's get on with the video. The first thing you want to do is to take some yarn of any color that you want, and you want to cut a few pieces of yarn that are folded in half and are longer than the hoop that you'll be using. I used an embroidery hoop, but you can use any hoop that you want. I only made 4 of these, but you can make as many of these as you want, and you want to make them all the same length. What you want to do with these pieces of yarn is that you want to keep the yarn folded in half, and you want to take the part of the yarn that's folded in half, and you want to put it under where you want the top of the hoop to be, and then you want to take the strands of the yarn and pull them through the loop, and you want to pull the yarn tight. Now you want to take one of the strands of yarn and tie it once, and not into a knot just yet, onto the bottom of the hoop, and you want to do the same thing to the other strand of yarn, but you want to move it over, and you want to tighten both strands of the yarn. You want to tie it once because it will be easier to adjust the yarn later before tying the yarn into a knot. You want to repeat these steps until you get a triangle shape. Once you're done tying all the yarn onto the hoop, you want to adjust the triangle, and then you want to tie all the yarn that was tied once on the hoop into knots. Now you want to make some more strands of yarn that are folded in half, and you also want to make them the same length as the yarn from the bottom of the hoop and down. What you want to do with this yarn is that you want to take the part of the yarn that's folded in half and put it under the hoop in between the gaps of the yarn that was tied into knots, and then you want to pull the strands of the yarn through the loop tightly. Now you want to follow the same steps until you have filled in all the gaps in between each of the knots. I was able to fit 4 strands of yarn in between each knot, and for you it will just depend on how big the gaps are. Now you can take a piece of yarn and tie it where the top of the hoop is in a loop, and then you can tie it into a knot. And if you need to, you can cut off the extra yarn. This is how this will hang on a wall. Now you want to hang it onto a wall, and you want to shape the yarn and trim off any of the extra yarn you don't want. You can cut the yarn into a triangle and a curve, or you can shape the yarn any way you want. For this next step, that's optional, you're going to need some wooden or plastic beads and a toothpick. All you have to do is that you have to pull the yarn through the beads, and you can use a toothpick to push the yarn through the beads. Then you want to tie a knot under the beads. You can put the beads on the yarn that's from the yarn that was tied into a knot, or you can use the yarn that was folded in half and put onto the hoop. And you can put as many beads onto the yarn that you want. If you want, you can put it back on the wall and trim off some more yarn until you like how it looks, and then you'll be done. And that's how you make this really easy wall decoration idea. In the comments down below, let me know what you think about this DIY, and if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to see more DIYs. I will see you in the next video. Bye!